Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a repair video for Miss Gal. As you can see, we got our wind damaged shingle. It's already lifting. Let's get a closer look. Gotta hide some of the shadow so you can see the creasing. But yeah, you can see obviously there at the top, it is a wind damaged shingle. I'm gonna do my best to get the shadow in it so you guys can have a good look. Alright. It is 70 degrees today. On this day of the repair, this is our workspace area. I am by myself, so I got my tripod set up. This shingle is discontinued, so we do not have a replacement shingle for the repair. So we will be conducting a simulation repair. We are on the front facing slope of Miss Gal's roof, and we are on one of the lowest points possible on the roof. So before we go ahead and get started on the repairs, go take a quick look at the surrounding area. Like I said, we're on one of the lowest points. You can see Miss Gal, she has a missing shingle right here on the front. And if you come up over in this valley, you can see another missing shingle. Over here on this end, we got some creasing. I know the creasing is a little harder to see. And then on the back, you can see she has some more missing, as well as the pipe jack area. And another crease shingle we found here. And there's some more around the roof, but let's go ahead and get conducted on this repair. Oh, another missing right here. Let's go ahead and actually, before I get started on this repair, oh look, got another crease shingle right here. But before I get started on this repair, I noticed that this is the shingle I'm going to be working on. So just to make my life a little easier, I know I'm going to have to unseal the shingle above it. These shingles as well. Alright, so I know I'll be having to unseal these shingles for conducting my work. And you can take a look at this gutter. See a good amount of granules in the gutter, just showing the real age of the shingle. All right, let's go ahead and get started on the video. Make sure I got a good view for you guys. Again, I am by myself. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but also want to make sure that the repair is done efficiently as possible with gentle care. So the tools we're going to be using today is our standard pry bar. You can see it's real thin on the end, nice and smooth end with a P-hook on the other end. And compared to this tool, our roof snake, you can see this is way thinner. It's what we'll be using to unseal the shingle. Whereas the roof snake, if we use a tool like this, it's just really girthy. It's just too big on the end. We're going to end up doing damage to the shingle rather than with this. You can see a side-by-side comparison. This is just much thinner, and this is a safer tool to use for unsealing the shingle. This we will be using to actually nail the shingle back into place. And we also have our standard hammer that we'll be using to hammer it in. All right, so let's go ahead and start by unsealing the shingles. We already got our wind damage shingle lifting, so we don't need to unseal that. Let's go ahead and unseal this guy right here. All right, so I'm gonna keep my palm down, fingers up in the air as I cut away from the tar line. And really that just helps me keep nice even pressure. That way I don't cause any unnecessary damage to the shingle by conducting the repair. Don't need to unseal the rest of that shingle ends here. It's a little guy. Let me just unseal a little more, just so when I do remove the nails, it's a nice, easy removal process. Don't want anything getting stuck. All right. from that. Not really seeing any on that. Next shingle. Not really seeing any mat, which is good. Alright, so now we're on to the next row. And again, I keep my palm down, fingers up in the air as I cut away from the tar line. Keep a nice, even pressure. Don't want to cause any rips or tears to the shingle. Just using just enough pressure to unseal the shingle and conduct my repair. You got one more shingle. Nail. So now that we unsealed the shingle, just gonna go ahead, start by removing the nails. Now I'll only be lifting the shingles up no more than 30 degrees. Keep one thumb on the shingle, and I keep the rest of my fingers lifted up in the air. If need be, I'll rest them on the shingle above, never the same shingle I'm working on. But as you can see, didn't really lift that shingle up that much. Now let's go in there one-handed and just remove that nail. Now the shingle's really only lifting as high as the nail could go, which is no more than 30 degrees. And this is really the only way you should be removing these nails, guys, if you want to do your best conducting this repair without damaging the shingle. You can see I just use a little pressure, pop that out. Oh, didn't come out all the way. But yeah, but just use a little pressure, pop that right out, and then we just go in there one-handed and remove the nail as so. Lift it just enough just to see where the nails are. Pop it down. Go in there one-handed, remove the nail, and continue moving forward. And notice, guys, I'm really not using that much pressure to remove the nails, just enough to get it out of the decking, but nothing crazy on my end. All right, so now we got the first row. Go ahead and go to the second. All right, this one looks like it's a double. I'm gonna go in, pop the other one, and then I can just go in and get both. Real simple. And again, I'm not lifting the shingle up more than 30 degrees. As you can see, the shingle doesn't go higher than the nail itself. So I'm really taking my time while conducting this repair and being as gentle as possible. Let's go in there one-handed, remove the nail. Not lifting the shingle up more than 30 degrees. Up another double. All right, so now that we got the shingle released, let's go ahead and remove it. Got all the nails. Oh, did we miss one? Looks like we missed one right here. Does have a lot more nails than usual. See if that's everything. Oh, got one right here. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing this many nails in the shingle, but this is how they installed it, I guess. Oh, one more. Good amount of nails in there. Alright, now that we got the shingle removed, go ahead and take a close look before we reinstall it. Again, this is the discontinued shingle, so we don't have a replacement shingle to install, guys. We're gonna have to use the same shingle. As you can see, our wind damage shingle. Get a nice good look. Alright. Let's go ahead and put the shingle back in. Alright, now we got our shingle in place. We go ahead with our roof snake and conduct the repair. Again, when I lift the shingle up, I don't lift it up more than 30 degrees, and this tool allows me to not lift it up more than the tool goes. I just go in one finger on the strongest point, fingers up in the air, and we lift our shingle up to conduct the repair. Now I am going to be putting the nails by the dragon teeth. This is the strongest point of the roof, and then we'll be putting new holes, obviously. So let's go ahead, start our repair. Hammer it just enough to get it through the decking, pop it out, and then I just finish it off, make sure it's nice and flush. Yep. Again, lift the shingle up no more than 30 degrees, fingers up in the air. Got my roof snake. And I'm not hammering it more than I have to, guys. Again, just making sure I get through the decking. I'm making sure I got these nails on the strongest point possible, which is the dragon teeth. Not putting them in the same holes as they were previously. Last nail for the row. It's nice and flush. I am noticing a bit of granule loss as I conduct this repair. And again, I'm just hammering just enough to make sure that the nails do get through the decking, guys. Lift it up. Fingers up in the air. But that being said, even with me being gentle, I am seeing some granule loss from conducting this repair. So let's go ahead and put these last 3 nails. We'll get a closer look. Gonna do a little less chatting. Thank you guys for taking the time out to watch the video. So last 2 nails. Now that everything's nice and flush, go ahead and get a closer look, guys. Alright. So again, this is our wind damaged shingle. As you can see, it was already lifting previously, and you can see the creases at the top. But as you can see above, from what I can tell, we have no damage here, 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 here. This one's a little harder to see at the top row, so I'll get some close-up shots. Got damage here, here, and here as well. We got a close-up. Guys, this is the direct result from the repair. Direct result from conducting the repair, guys. So you could, like I said, I didn't do any unnecessary movements while removing the shingle. This is just a direct result. Close-up look. All this damage that was caused by the repair, guys. Again, I took my time. No unnecessary movement. This is just a direct result from conducting the repair. And like I mentioned before, this is on the lowest point of the roof. If we continue to push these repairs upwards, we're just going to be running into the same issues, doing more damage and more harm than good for Miss Gow's roof. Let's go ahead and prefer a full roof replacement. As for this repair, it's going to be deemed a fail. Thank you guys for taking the time out to watch the video. You guys have a blessed day.